Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. Our next guest is a legend. He has starred in movies and TV shows. He's directed movies and TV shows. And now you can see the iconic Danny DeVito in the new Tim Burton film, Dumbo, where he plays the master of ceremonies of the Medici brothers' circus. Let's take a look.
Dad, wake up, let's go! The elephants need us!
Look at that. Baby, got a baby. We got a baby.
What is that? A face only a mother could love.
Sir, many of us find you handsome.
I was talking about the elephant. You have until tomorrow night to fix that.
Me?
Make those ears disappear.
Don't look at me.
Hi, baby Dumbo. Welcome to the circus. We're all family here, no matter how small.
You have something very rare. You have wonder. You have magic. Come with me. Together, we can soar on that elephant's wings.
You're a miracle elephant, Dumbo.
Okay, Big D, this is it, just like in rehearsal. Except for lights, music, fire, and crowds. You can do it.
Fly, Dumbo. Fly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Danny DeVito is in the house.
Hey, everybody.
Mr. DeVito.
So exciting.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks a lot for having me in here. It's beautiful.
Congratulations on Dumbo.
Yeah.
This is this the second time you've worked with
This
Tim
is the
Burton?
fifth time
The
I've
fifth
worked
time
with
you've
Tim.
worked with Tim Burton.
Tim and I go back, from Batman Returns.
Yeah.
We started, we did Mars Attacks.
That's right.
Where I got killed by a Martian. You can see my bones in that one. And
Your actual bones. It was a
Yeah,
real
I think,
stunt.
well, maybe CG bones. I don't know what they do. And then also Big Fish, which was where I played a circus guy, too, except I'm a werewolf in that. You see that? Yeah, Big Fish is really cool. And now in Dumbo, this is like, that's 4. And then there's one movie that I directed, Hoffa, and he played a part in it.
Did he have a part or a cameo?
He's a little cameo, Tim.
Tim Burton had a cameo in
my
Hoffa?
movie. Yeah.
What made you...
You have to find it. It's in there.
I believe you, but what...
What happened was he was visiting one day. You know, we all like to support each other, you know, when you're directing a movie or whatever you're doing. And so he's a good buddy, and he came to visit. And I was doing a scene where we just had this big fight with between the unions and the police, and 4 people were killed in the fight. And I had a camera up top looking over coffins. So it was like a transition, came past the coffins, and it went to Jack Nicholson and the mourners who were on the stage during the wake. So during that when I was getting ready to do it, he came to visit. He was sitting by the monitors, by the backstage, and I said, "You want to be in the movie?" And he said, "Yeah." So I put him in a black suit, stuffed him in a coffin. So he's in a coffin, and you see him in the movie when the camera goes over.
That sounds about right for Tim Burton.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Pretty on brand.
He really enjoyed it. He had a good time doing it. Yeah, and he was terrific in the movie. It was just like...
When's the last time you directed?
I think it was, might have been either Matilda or War of the... I think it was Matilda, right? Or
Really?
No, that's the
Smoochy?
Smoochy.
That's the
Yeah.
Smoochy.
Yeah.
That's the last time you directed a feature, right?
That's right.
Yeah. What, do you
War
miss
of the
it?
Roses was before, I think, that. Yeah, what?
Do you
Go ahead.
miss it?
Yeah, I miss it. I'm looking, you know... I love to work, so I just... You know, you never know when it's going to happen. Once you find something that you really like, then you dive in, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, the rest is history.
Right, it's about finding something that you're...
Yeah, Dumbo was like really amazing because I was doing a play here in New York, and Tim called, and when I heard he was doing Dumbo, I said, "Oh, this is a movie. You know, I got to be in this movie." It was one of my favorite movies. Like growing up, I got 3 kids. Anytime the kid wakes up early in the morning and you don't know what to do, you give him a bowl of cereal. You know, you're half asleep. You stick Dumbo in. That was the thing. You know, they watch Dumbo. I've seen it 100 times, I think, you know, pieces of it, you know. And I was doing a play, and Tim called and said he was doing it, and almost didn't make it because the play was going on. And
What play?
I was doing The Price. Arthur
I
Miller
saw The
play
Price. It was amazing.
on Broadway. Yeah, it was the roundabout. It was great.
You and Mark Ruffalo, yeah.
and Jessica Hecht and Tony Shalhoub. So really, and Arthur Miller, come on. You know,
Yeah, that was an incredible production.
Great playwright, and really lucky to do that. But almost didn't make it because you can't leave the play. You know, you're in the play, you're never going to leave that till it winds down. And then they pushed the schedule, and I got to go to London and do that.
And when,
This was good. I liked it. I had a good time. I'm sorry. I digress.
I know, I enjoy the
Turned into the
digression,
monkey.
please. Yeah.
The movie, yeah.
You know, when he approached you to do it, did he already have this character in mind for
Yeah,
you?
oh yeah. The script was written. He sent me the script. I thought it was like great. And I look back at it, and you know, it's been a year and a half or whenever we did it. I don't know how long ago. And you know, I look at the movie and I say, if I wasn't in this movie, I would really feeling bad right now because I love being in this picture. I love working with him. And then I got to be with Keaton again because we've done 3 movies together. We did Johnny Dangerously was the first movie we did together.
Right.
And then Batman. And in Batman, which, you know, I played the Penguin. I was the bad guy. And you see, so now now I'm playing Medici, who has the circus, right? I'm the good guy in this movie. Michael's the bad guy. But it's a lot of fun. And now we have Colin Farrell and Evergreen and these wonderful Childebanes. Yes?
You do a movie like this, it seems like it's kind of liberating as an actor because you show up and you can be as big as you want.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
the master of ceremony.
Oh, yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the whole deal.
Is that fun or is that
Oh, yeah.
exhausting?
Oh, no, it's fun. Oh, I love going big. Everybody knows that. Yeah, I like taking that road, you know, like leaping off into the unknown. Yeah, I like that.
You know, the last 10, 13 years we've seen you in It's Always Sunny in
That's right.
Philadelphia. You've really, really like dedicated yourself to that show and that team, and I think it's been incredibly fruitful. I think it's the funniest show on TV.
It's a hell of a good show. I really enjoyed doing it. We've done 13 seasons. We're gonna do another one starting in June, and I'm very excited about it.
It's not going to be there's no talk of it being the last
no,
one, right?
It's not
Okay.
like last one or what one or what. I know that Robin, Glenn, and Charlie and Caitlin, they all want to do it, and it's really fun to do. We have a ball. Those guys, they're as insane as you get, and I do almost anything they tell me.
Has there ever been something you've said no to?
Oh, let's not go there.
I mean, because we have seen you like naked crawl out of a couch. Yeah.
You want to be naked and crawl out of a couch, Dan? Yeah. I can't wait. When do you want to do it? And how many times do you want me to come out of the couch?
How many times did you have to come
About
out?
6.
Oh.
You know, it's like really interesting is like with that one, I don't know if you've seen that, but, you know, when I read the script, I said, you know, so you're going to come out of the couch naked, you know, it's the whole Ghost of Christmas Past. You're going to try, you know, listen to what people say about you, what they say about Frank. That was the whole premise of the whole idea. And then you say, okay, well, I know everybody. I know the cast. I can come out of the couch naked, no big deal. You know, I do that, and I know the crew, I know the DP, I know the grips, and we've been together for years, the AD. Then you get to the set. I got the black thing of like little booths set up, like a couple Duvetine things, you know, where they're hiding you. And you go in there, and the makeup woman's in there, and you take your robe off, and they get the grease, and it's all this like goppy, like really shiny, all painted all over your body, everywhere. Okay, you totally paint, And, and then you realize that there are like you guys, like 50 people or 100 people out there in the background, actors, cocktail glasses and stuff in there. You don't know them. Now you got to squirm your way through a couch like a halibut, I mean, it's like, so I did it. And, you do it, you do it, and you go and you do it, and there's a great thing on the internet. You can find it where Caitlin, I come out of the couch going, hot, hot, hot. I'm naked and I'm sweating. I was in the couch. I took my clothes off in the couch, supposedly. I say hot, hot, hot. Caitlin is supposed to have a line. The first time we did it, I'm saying hot, 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 and she's looking at me. She didn't say her line. I kept saying hot, 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 and finally the director goes, you have to talk, and she goes, oh, it's my line. That's on the, you can see that on.
You mesmerized her.
I mesmerized. I didn't know what she was looking at. Right into my eyes, of course.
What's it like to be at this point in your career where you can be on a show like that, you can be in a movie like Dumbo, and you can be on Broadway doing...
Very lucky. I'm a lucky guy. I know, like, a lot of it's like, you work hard, everything and all that. You got to work. But, you have to be fortunate. You have to get the breaks. Like Taxi was a big break, and then, doing Sunny is, like, amazing. And then all the things in between, all the movies and stuff. So, and you have to, like, go after it like like you're in a jungle, and you're going through the weeds looking for gems, and every once in a while one will turn up, like Dumbo turns up, and I feel it's a whole other thing in your life.
Has it always felt that
fake elephants
that you?
Yeah.
Has it always felt like you've been able to do this much variety, or does it feel like a new thing in your career that you?
No, I've always tried to mix it up. I did Throw 'em Out from the Train was a certain kind of movie that I directed, and then Matilda is the other kind of movie, and then War of the Roses, where I get to. I don't know if you all saw War of the Roses. Okay, so I can tell you I kill Michael and Kathleen. Come on. It's like, it's a good thing. You're fortunate to do that stuff.
You've been longtime friends with Michael, right?
That's right.
How did you guys become friends?
We met at the Eugene O'Neill Foundation up in Waterford, Connecticut in the 60s. And it was a summer kind of program where they read plays. Like, the thing is, new playwrights would go up there. It's a playwright foundation, and they would read their plays, and they'd have actors from various young actors, college people, and older actors would come up and read the plays for the writers, so that they get a feeling for what they're writing. And that was a program, and so I was up there, and Michael was there, and they were doing some construction. And the actors always pitched in. We did some, moving cinder blocks and stuff, and they were doing it. And one day it was really hot, and they wanted to make a beer run. And Michael had a motorcycle, and I was just there for a couple days. I'd been there a couple days. And I volunteered to go because I don't like moving cinder blocks. And I said, he's going to drive, so we're going to go get a case of beer. I'm going to hold it on the back of the... And so it was like a sight to behold. But before we got on the bike, we both had I had hair down to here, hair like you guys. I'm pointing to a couple of women right now that got long hair. My hair was down here, sweatshirt, the whole thing. And we looked at each other, and the first thing we said to each other was, "You get high?" And yeah. And I figured, California guy, he's got the good dope. You know what I mean? So anyway, we had a good time that day. We brought the beer back eventually. You know what I mean? It was one of those.
Your first movie, Cuckoos? Was that?
Well, that was the first movie. Cuckoos, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was the first movie that, most people saw. I mean, I did little parts. I did some NYU stuff. I did a movie, Hot Dogs for Gauguin, at NYU that Marty Brest directed.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was like kind of cool little stuff. And then Cuckoo's Nest was with Milos.
And that started like a pretty long relationship with Milos, right?
Yeah, well, Milos and I, we good friends for a long time. And then one night he said to me, after Taxi was on, and it was over, actually, Taxi, and Andy had passed away. and he was a big fan of Andy Kaufman's. So he asked me to tell him stuff about him, tell stories about Andy, and he was very interested. And he said to me, "Well, we should make this movie." And I said, "Really?" You know, like within 2 hours, I had a deal at Universal, and we made Man on the Moon. It was really a great thing working with him. Milos was a very special guy, very special.
You know, what made you have Milos direct that movie rather than you? Because this was right around the time that you were directing and producing a lot.
No, he was totally interested. I mean, he brought it up. We were having cocktails somewhere, and you know, which I can't remember because I could be having cocktails anywhere, and it could be any time. And so he brought it up. He started, you know, a lot of interest in the Andy, and I said, "This is like." And then he said, "Why don't we make this movie?" You know, I said, "This is like a natural." And so we did it. And
did you watch the documentary that came out last year?
Of course, Jim's
Insanity.
Yeah. It was good. I was like, you know, in a weird spot because I produced that movie. Okay, so when you produce the movie, you're on the hook for, you know, you're in the studio is like right in your, like, you know, you were responsible. So, but I also acted in it, and I had Milos directing it, and Jim was very, very into playing Andy, and so you really want to support that. So, I was like caught in the middle of like Jim's antics and trying to keep the movie on schedule and all that kind of stuff, and we had a ball. Everything in that documentary was like, I loved it. I loved watching it, revisiting it. Every once in a while, you see me in the background worrying in that movie.
When I watched that documentary, I was fascinated by that his relationship with Milos was combative, but his relationship with you was like really supportive, and he would be yelling at Milos and then turn to you and be like, "Okay, Danny, but this is what we're gonna do."
Yeah.
Why is he so nice to Danny and not Milos?
Well, you know, Jim was really totally into character, and
I guess Andy was friends with you, so that's kind of why.
We was good friends with me, so I guess that's why. I did escape most stuff, but he did things like lock me in my trailer. He did stuff like I came in once in my trailer and it was a smell. I didn't know what it was. It was like a little bit weird. You know, sometimes those things. And what he had done was he put really stinky cheese and salami all over the place. He hid it. It took me weeks to get rid of it. It was just like, but you know, that was all in fun. He get a bouquet of roses and give them out to all the women, not the men. All these women give them roses, and he would stuff garlic in the petals down there so that when you smelled it, you know. Just a fun-loving guy, you know what I mean?
You know, we touched briefly on the fact that you directed your last movie with Death to Smoochy, and you mentioned Throw Mama from the Train.
Yes.
Your films, the majority of them, I mean, they vary, but the majority of them have this really macabre sense of humor.
Yeah,
and
I have a little streak of that.
Well, yeah, it's such a unique perspective and voice. Did you know that when you decided you were going to direct that was one of the things that you wanted to focus on?
I like comedy. I like to be funny. I like it to be a little bit dark. So a little bit on the edge. So you know, I'm a big fan of also, you know, things, the Three Stooges and Dean and Jerry and all the, you know, the Marx Brothers and all the crazy antics but I did like the Three Stooges, like when they would throw screwdrivers at each other and shit. You know, so, I don't know why, it's just the way I am. Now all of a sudden I turn into Harvey Firestein. Harvey, I just want to be loved. Yeah, go ahead.
How do you go from those kind of comedies to deciding to do Hoffa?
Well, David Mamet. Yeah. Because I was looking for something to do. I saw the scripts that the studio had on their doc, you know, that they were thinking of. And when I got to David Mamet, I'm a big fan. Yeah. And I said, I'd love to read that. And I did, and I loved it. And then I sent it to Jack, and Jack liked it a lot. And then we got to do the movie. But it was basically because of Mamet. And it was a departure. It was different. But really, I had a lot of fun making that movie, too.
Was that would you say that's the toughest movie you've made? What's the toughest?
Yeah, I think
film
that was the most, a lot of nights and a lot of big shots and a lot of people. And years ago, there wasn't any CG, so you couldn't really add crowds and this, that, and the other thing. Or otherwise it'd be making Game of Thrones now. That was good. That's good. I love Game of Thrones.
You're a Game of Thrones fan?
Oh, Khaleesi. Come on, baby. Woo! Hold me down. Okay. What?
Are you excited for the new season?
I am. I'm very excited for it. Yeah. Looking for it.
Whoa.
I like Snow too, man. He's pretty hot.
What? How did you react when you thought that Snow was dead?
Look. You want me to revisit this? It's gonna be very difficult. Look, I No, I'm looking forward to the next season. Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Did you find that your films, that people revisit them and get more from them revisiting them than sometimes when they first come out?
I think
that happens with comedies all the time.
Yeah, I think it's the way it is in life. Like I do that all the time. I always visit, older movies that I watched that I loved when I was a kid. Like just the other day I watched 4 days ago I watched La Strada again. I mean, Fellini's movie. It's amazing. I couldn't find it right I usually have a library of stuff, and I was in a different house, and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I found it on iTunes, but with there were no subtitles, right? So I speak a little Italian, so I got about 18% of it, but you know what I mean? But I watched it anyway, and then I went out and got it, and I watched it again with subtitles because I like going back and looking at movies that, I love this new documentary that I just saw about Orson Welles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, They'll Love Me When I'm Dead. Yeah. That was a good one. And, looking at all his movies, from Citizen Kane all the way up, they just, there's something about it.
Did you watch any of the new film, his actual movie that they released?
The Place Beyond the Wind. No, what's it called?
I don't remember, but
Wind,
it's
Beyond the Wind.
Yeah.
It's really
wild,
man. Yeah. He was great, man. Just just what an artist.
Extremely brave. It was almost like
brave guy. Yeah.
It was watching that was almost like Cassavetes didn't even have the bravery to go that far and that long.
That's another one that I like. I'll go back and I'll look at Woman Under the Influence, or I just watched Faces the other day.
Incredible.
Incredible stuff. You just go back, and what's great about what's going on now, and years ago when I was a kid, you had the $1 million movie and they'd show the same movie over and over again. I watched King Kong 4,000 times, when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And now it's you can do that. You go find great movies that you remember, you love, and you just revisit them for $3.99 or whatever it is.
Is there a movie of yours that you want people to revisit?
Well, I'd
most?
love people to see all. Just go down the line and look at all my movies.
$3.99, all of them. Maybe
how many
5
actors it takes to screw in a light bulb? One. He holds on to the light bulb, and the world revolves around him. But yeah, look at all the movies, and you should look at Smoochy again because it's really a good, cool movie. So you should try that.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway.
Smoochy's a wild ride.
Wild ride, yes.
Yeah. We have some questions from our audience. Who has a question?
Please. Good.
Right here. Hi.
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 I just want to start off by saying you are a legend. I'm a big fan, so it's an honor to be here.
Very nice. Thank you.
I was wondering what the most challenging part of going from, television to Broadway to film and then back again.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, the thing was okay, so I started out doing theater. I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and I did off-Broadway, off-Broadway, children's theater, all this, because actors need to work. You need to try out. You need to get up on stage and do it, And then I did Cuckoo's Nest off-Broadway, so Milos saw that. Michael saw that. Michael is a good friend of mine. He was lobbying for me, but Milos saw the play at the Mercer Center right here by NYU. where I did.
Completely forgot that it was a play.
It was
before
a play,
the
yeah.
book, then the play, then the
yeah. It was a play by Dale Wasserman from Kesey's book, and so what I'm trying to get at is that's like a good break. So it's a big break. You go to movies, and you get to work with somebody like Milos Forman, who's a really good director. I mean, that's like a blessing right there. Then after that, I did a couple of little things like Policewoman and Starsky and Hutch, and a couple of things that you were done way before you were born. And then out of the blue, a casting director came up to me and said, or he found me and said, "You got to go audition for Taxi." So, it's a lot of times it's like being in the right place at the right time. But when you get that chance, all that other stuff makes you ready for it. Now, what do you like best? I mean, I love being in front of people. You can see I'm blabbing. I love it. I love being, I like doing the movies because they're subtle. It's a different kind of way to work, even though I'm not subtle in all my movies. But I'm just saying that it's a different animal, working with the camera. But I like being on stage. I think it's really good. And it's transitionally, it's easy. You'll have a good time doing it.
I have to ask, I brought it up already, but I love the show so much. What was it like last season at the end of It's Always Sunny to bring Mac's character and to be a part of that, to bring that, a certain sincerity to that character that is not something that the show always does?
No, we don't always do that, but that was a really great show. He wrote it, Charlie, I guess Glenn participated. But the idea is that, we've been waiting for Mac to come out. He's been coming out forever. Come on out, will you?
That's the hilarious thing is that nobody doesn't. It's not that any of the friends don't want him to come out.
No,
they just want him to
just
come out.
and stop.
Yeah.
Get over it for crying out loud. I mean, talk about an attention getter for crying out loud. Yeah. Anyway, he came out in the right way, in a really cool way. I mean, he faced what was going on inside of him. And I was really happy to be part of that. I mean, of course, with me, I run me into a door and my nose explodes, and that was my whole. But it was really good to finally understand what was going on inside him and the way it manifested with the fact that he was struggling with his feminine side and all that. Way it came out in the dance.
And you get to be a sort of a stand-in father figure for him in that scene as well.
Exactly. And get it in the end. It's good.
It's really great. I mean, it was like 13 seasons of that show to have that moment. I was so shocked. And you guys always pull off everything, no matter how ambitious or different it is than before. I'm always shocked at how well it's pulled off.
Thank you.
I think we have some time for some more questions. Right here.
Hi.
Hello.
How different is your preparation for the character in the movie now comparing to the beginning of your career?
Well,
And
go ahead.
and how different is your perception of the movies now and being on the set compared to the past?
Well, you hang around, you learn things, you get more and more comfortable with things. It's like you understand more about them. Like when in the '60s, the movie that really made me want to be a director was The Battle of Algiers. You see a movie like that, and there's no actors, there's no documentary footage, and it's all actors. And you go, what does a director do, and all that kind of. So basically, I hope I'm answering your question. I prepare like always prepared as an actor for. The idea is the way you study, whatever method you use to get into the character. That's a key that you have to have, that you find as you're working, and you use that whether you're doing a part in a movie or you're doing a part on stage or you're doing a part in television. I love to look at what's going on today. Independent film is like really exciting. A lot of people making movies, and I think that's got to continue. People should make their own movies, get out there, take the tools that you can, and put your own ideas on film. I mean, it's like a great thing to do.
Where were you when you saw the Battle of Algiers for the first time?
I was at the Thalia, up on 90-something Street in Manhattan. I was at the American Academy, I think, still. And I saw in 1966 or 7. I saw the Battle of Algiers, Pontecorvo's movie, and it's one of those movies. You probably all have movies that you look at and you go, oh, I remember that made me feel this way about making movies, or that made me appreciate, movies in a certain way. That was one of them for me.
Yeah, I think every generation that loves movies or person that loves movies has the movie that showed them what a
Turn the
movie could
corner.
be.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially something like that. There's no rules for Battle of Algiers except tell a good story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One more question. What do we got here? Hey there.
Hello, Mr. DeVito.
Hi, how are you?
Question. So, with Taxi, was Frank inspired by Louis De Palma loosely, or was how much did that figure in? And then second part would be, did kind of the cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia get inspired by Taxi? Because it kind of seems like the dynamics are a little bit similar.
I think the things that Taxi has in common with It's Always Sunny is that the writing is good. Writing in Taxi was like amazing. That was Jim Brooks and Ed Weinberger, Stan Daniels. The Charles brothers came in and worked, the ones that wound up doing Cheers and many other shows. It's really good writing. And in our show, thank goodness, Robin, Charlie, and Glenn, and all the other people who work on our show now are really good. And so you get the feeling that the shows are secure and they know what they're doing. And so in terms of whether or not the characters weren't, I wouldn't know. I never thought about asking Rob and Charlie what inspired them to write Frank. Whether I'm sure, that. No, I don't. I really don't know why they. I know that I was supposed to be, I wanted the character to be organic, so they gave me. I was the father of Glenn and Caitlin. I mean, it's like, but then they do explain why I look so different, because my wife was a whore. So, so it's like they, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the story of
That's
Frank.
the story
Yeah.
of Frank.
Danny, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It was really a pleasure.
Dumbo comes out next week, Friday of next week. It's a wonderful
Yes.
movie. Another great performance by you in
Thank you.
collaboration with Tim Burton. So happy to have you on the stage.
Thanks
Thank you
so
so
much.
much for
Great
being
to
here.
be
Danny
here.
DeVito, everybody.
Thank you.